In business, right, there's 4 R's that I think are critical. One is relationships, right? Relationships is so important. Retention of your existing customers is terribly important. Referrals. When you have a system that literally inspires referrals without you even asking, it's pretty impressive. And last one, revenue.
Today's podcast guest is Bo Young with Banner Seasons. Bo is an expert in customer appreciation, just saying thank you, showing gratitude. He says that you have to have better customer service, not only than people in your industry, but better than the pizza guy. Says say thank you first and then work to earn the referral. He said that life is like Tetris. If you fit in, you disappear, which means you have to look for ways to stand out in your customers' minds. And they will always remember the person who thanks them. Bo lives by the 4 R's: relationship, retention, referrals, lead to revenue.
My name's Travis Sims, and I am the founder and CEO of AGC Accelerated Global Connections. And this is the AGC Experience.
Have you wondered if Facebook and Instagram ads could work for your business? Do you know that these ads are the most cost-effective advertising on and off the internet today? That is, if you know what you are doing. Isn't it time to take advantage of Facebook and Instagram ads to get more leads and sales for your business? Janet E. Johnson has helped bring in millions of dollars using online marketing strategies. She offers both management and training solutions. Set up a discovery call with her to see if your business is a fit. JanetEJohnson.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the AGC Experience podcast, thank you so much for tuning in today. We're so glad to have you either listening on our podcast or you're watching this podcast. And I want to say thank you for tuning in and thank you for hitting the subscribe button. We're getting subscriptions from all over the country and all over the world now who are tuning in to the AGC Experience. And today's guest is not going to disappoint. I'm so excited to have my friend, member, sponsor, just an awesome guy, Bo Young, on the podcast today. And Bo, you are in the business of giving thanks. You're in the business of giving gratitude to people. And I just love what you do. And I love just the person that you are. And you're the man in the yellow suit. So around AGC, that is. And so I'd love to learn just a little bit more about you. Please share with our audience. Tell us who you are and what you do and why you're here.
Excellent. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate the intro. First, before I get into me, I'll say that out of 7.6 billion people on the planet, you picked me to be on this, and I appreciate that. So thank you for that. I'm trying to surround myself with people that inspire me and lift me up, and you were one of those. So thanks again for letting me be here. My little quick background on me, I've been married for many, many years. I've got 3 girls, came from a fairly large family of, I have 6 brothers and sisters. Big extended family, and have been in the business world, been working for almost 30 years, started 2 weeks into my 14th birthday. I'll be 44 in a month or two. And so that's my background. And I've been in what feels like a world of customer service, customer experience, sales, self-employment. I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years. So that's me.
Awesome. Well, since you've been in sales and an entrepreneur for so many years, and I just want to know from you, like, what's your biggest advice to other entrepreneurs and salespeople?
Well, I've had the privilege of going to so many different conferences and so much leadership development, things like that. But I was at a conference a few years back, and I heard someone say that you're really only as good as the best customer experience that you can find in any industry. So, for example, if you're an insurance agent, you might provide incredible customer service. But if the pizza delivery person down the street does an even better job, that's what you're constantly compared to. So you just constantly got to be leveling up that experience to stand out, right? And then recently I've heard this. It's like life is like a game of Tetris. If you fit in, you disappear. And I don't want to disappear now being a business owner. So I don't know.
Wow, that's some pretty big words of wisdom, and I wanna play on that for just a little bit. I want to draw some emphasis to this. What you just shared, and audience, if you're listening to this, if you caught this, you are not only competing with other people in your industry, but you're competing with the level of service of the pizza delivery guy,
Yeah.
which means
It's
that it really is all about customer service, and whoever's delivering it better is what the person they're going to remember, and they're going to go, well, it was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as that person, that thing.
correct. It
Wow.
really just doesn't matter what industry. I bring up pizza delivery because that's one. If you call and they recognize the number, you pop up, and they've got technology.
Yeah.
Do you want the same thing as you got last time, Mister Young? Well, that's you just okay. Somebody's paying attention. And when somebody's paying attention and knows your likes and dislikes, you create a better customer experience. So yeah, I don't know. I've had experience. I can walk into a Qdoba, our local Qdoba, and they make it special for me. I don't even have to ask. They just know what I want and how I want it. It's a different level of customer experience. So
Yeah. So knowing that, and having that under your belt, because not everyone realizes this, how has it served you? What have you taken into your own business using your own advice?
okay, yeah, great question. Well, a couple other things too. Okay, well, first I'll say I try to level up my customer experience for my customers. So my day job, I'm in the insurance world, right? And and I appreciate every customer I have. I'm trying to wrap my arms around it. And so I try to do some personalized appreciation. So, for example, we're going through tough times right now, right? I have several of my insureds that are out of work right now, and for the foreseeable future. For example, a hairstylist that rents a chair, right?
Yeah.
They can't work. I mean, by governor's orders, they're not working till the end of April at the soonest. So, leaning into my customers, I decided I'm going to send each and every one of those people a gift package. And it was pretty simple. It's a package of brownies and a card that says, "In case of a chocolate emergency, break plastic." And I, I really think that customer that may not be able to continue their insurance because they're out of work is going to appreciate that, right? They're
Yeah.
going to take a look at that experience. So that's that. One other thing I would say is that what I find often in business is people say thank you, but they do it with a condition, right? So let's just say you started, you chose to do business with somebody, you got to thank you. And in my opinion, you immediately get to ask for this referral. I actually think the timing's off. I think say thank you first. You work into that relationship to earn that referral down the road. But that's a personal opinion. But say thank you without a condition, right? And
Sure.
so as I'm saying thank you to my customers, lean into them, I'm not expecting anything back. I, I really truly hope that they're doing okay through today's times, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's very good. Not only have, I mean, I feel like, and I've only known you for really a relatively a pretty short time,
yeah,
in a little over a year, and but I feel like that this, just getting to know you a little bit, that this is how you've lived your life for a long time. That this isn't a new thing, but you've found a business that aligns with your own personal views, your own core values. And so tell us a little bit about the business, and because a lot of us right now, honestly, it's not that people are, I like to think, the best of everyone. I really
yeah,
do.
me
I
too.
think there's more good in the world than there is bad. And I think that people are intentional, or not intent. They have the intention. Excuse me. They have the intention of, I'm going to thank this person. Oh, that was really nice. I should do something for them. And we live in a world, even if you're on shelter in place, is still buzzing by you at 100 miles per hour,
Right.
because your phone's lighting up, your computer's on, your TV's on, you're trying to work, the kids are in the background. There's all this stuff going on, And that thought just, it goes out. And it's
Right.
not that you intentionally forgot to thank this person, or that you wasn't going to do something, but it just goes out so fast. But you've made that really easy for people. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I have, and so the business that I'm representing here, Banner Season, as you pull that up, Banner Season is a customer engagement platform. It allows you to connect with customers, prospects certainly as well, and and send a personalized card, send a personalized gift, but just to connect with them on a little different level, right? And it can be done from your phone, it can be done from your laptop, it can be done from your PC, and you can create an order, send something out to somebody, a customer, a friend, family member, and you make it about them, not about you and your personal branding, not about Banner Seasons branding. You make the customer the hero, right? But in the process, here it is, this box gets delivered to somebody. It comes from your return address. It looks like you did all the work putting it together, but it might have taken you a couple minutes to create the order. It gets shipped out. And I've been using this system for a little over a year. Okay. And in my insurance world, I saw my retention numbers go to record highs since using implementing the system. And I believe in systems. This is just one of many that I use in that business. But Banner Season is an incredible system to stay in touch with people. There's things you can do to set it and forget it. If you're a realtor and you close on a sale, you can turn this thing on with a few clicks. That every quarter for 2.5 years, somebody's going to get a gift from you. That's going to keep you top of mind, right? And system to me, it's an acronym. System is save yourself time, energy, and money. And I have yet to find a system like Banner Season that can do that. The other thing, and I think I mentioned it at one of the AGC when I had a chance to speak as a sponsor. In business, right, there's 4 R's that I think are critical. One is relationships, right? Relationships is so important. Retention of your existing customers. It's terribly important. Um, Referrals. When you have a system that literally inspires referrals without you even asking, it's pretty impressive. And last one, revenue. This is something that can drive revenue. And so when you're handling all of those things with an easy system, it, it's been a game changer for me.
That's awesome. So you literally have the easy button for thanking your customers and future customers. That's pretty awesome. And I've seen it in action. I mean, you've sent me a couple things that
Sure.
I opened up, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, and had my own picture, my own logo on it, and it was really awesome experience. What a really cool way to thank someone.
Yeah, and I tell you what, as a relationship marketing enthusiast, which I am, and I have been for years, I just have a newer system that allows me to kind of act on that. It's
Yeah.
amazing to send somebody in today's world with the digital overload, right? I mean, you
Yep.
mentioned that. To get into somebody's mailbox and not their inbox, and have them open a surprise item can be a complete game changer. It can pull them out of a funk. I hear thank yous for thank yous every
Yeah.
week, and
I bet you do.
it's an astounding thing, and it lifts you up. It to make somebody's day, to help them celebrate the magic of every day is a really powerful tool. So
Yeah. That is so cool. Now, I'm going to bring us back a little bit.
yeah,
And because what you just said about digital world, mailbox, not the inbox, you talked about really going above and stepping ahead of others, like in standing out, right?
yeah.
And for those of you that are listening, you can't see this, but for those of you that are watching this podcast, Bo, you're wearing a yellow suit. I mean, a completely bright yellow suit, top and bottom. And I've seen you wear this on occasion at an AGC event. So tell us about the yellow suit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a little background. So, a couple years ago, our local chamber had invited myself and then one of my friends to be co-hosts of the annual chamber banquet, and it was going to be a game show theme. It was let's make a deal, and we decided we were going to get some kind of outrageous suits. Mine's like highlighter yellow, right? Uh, and so my friend, he got purple. He's a big Vikings fan. He thought maybe he'll wear his again. And I chose yellow because locally in Hutchinson here, where the Hutch Tigers were black and yellow, I happen to be, sorry about the Steelers fan. I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan. So I'm like, I'm getting yellow. I'm getting a yellow suit. And I have worn this less than 10 times. But it's interesting. There's people that believe I'm just the yellow suit guy, and they've seen me in it twice or
Yeah.
once. But it's interesting because as I've worn it, people can't help but smile.
Yeah.
And so I like to make that impact, right? I like to make people smile. My kids, walking out today, putting this suit on, my 10-year-old just, oh, Dad, please don't. But I've done some work in the local elementary school. I work with Junior Achievement. I'm on the board and I'm a volunteer with them. And so when I show up on the last day of Junior Achievement or the first day, depends on which one I do, in this suit, it's amazing, the reaction from kids. So I don't know. It tends to brighten people's day, right?
Yes, yes. Brighten people's day, helps you be remembered.
Yeah.
Um, wow, awesome. You you mentioned you've mentioned the chamber. You've mentioned everyone here knows you're an AGC and you're a big proponent there. You've mentioned a few things that you volunteer for. Um, how important do you think it is to get involved with your community and other organizations to grow your business? You seem to be pretty involved in things.
Yeah, it's imperative to be involved. And I've shared this story with a few people, but back in my before I moved to Hutchinson 8 years ago, I was an agent for a couple years in Iowa. Then I was a manager for 5 years, and then I had this opportunity. And I had been at we had a spring awards ceremony when I was a manager about 10 years ago. And our state director had traveled around and taken pictures and video of all the agents in their communities and that. And he did a presentation, said at our award ceremony about how these communities are truly better because the agents are in it. And all these pictures and all these things. And I actually sat there and had a little self-reflection. And I
Mhm.
really thought, I don't know if my community is any better because I'm in it. If I leave, they're not going to miss me. Not with as plugged in as I was then. I wasn't plugged in at all. Now, granted, I had young kids and I can make an excuse and I was being selfish, but I wasn't dialed into my community at all. So when I moved 8 years ago, I was intentional about dialing in, about being a advocate for the community, being a chamber member, because quite frankly, your community is only as good as you make it.
Yeah,
And so I really, really dialed in, and it has been the most incredibly rewarding thing. If and when the day comes and I end up moving, it's going to be very difficult because I'm extremely connected. And it's not
yeah,
just for business purposes, right? It's
yeah,
truly just to give back. I don't know. There are consequences to being part of your community, part of being a caring member, and making connections with people, right? And those consequences isn't negative in that regard. So
yeah. No, I want to lead us in a direction that may or may not have came out of that, but it did for me. And first of all, I want to commend you about getting involved. I think you're exactly right. I think that's fantastic advice. You the way you contribute to your community, it matters. You need to be a part of it. You need to be an active and part of it, not just for business, but because we make it a better place.
yeah,
But for guys like us that are really involved. I mean, and we're doing a ton of things. I mean, the amount of events that we're attending, the amount of
mhm,
level of education things that we're doing between workshops and seminars and conferences and talks and podcasts and all the things that we're doing. How do you find time for your family and to unwind and to give them that time? And what do you like to do when you're not working?
great question. Well, so yeah, I think we're all really busy, right? But the reality is, I do have thresholds. I've said no. I've said I can't be part of this. It's a tough word to learn and to get good at because I'm a
Yeah,
much more of a yes guy, right?
yeah,
But my family and the time with my wife and my daughters has been priority. I don't work 90 hours a week. Most of the activities I'm involved with are not after hours, so that when my
mhm,
normal day should be done, I can go home and have dinner with my family. Is when I try to do it. Most of those days are reserved for them, and their activities. I have a busy family with not right now, but normally we're busy
yeah,
on at least 2 or 3 nights a week and the weekends and all that. So I don't miss those things. And the only way that's possible is because I work with an incredible group of people that keep my main business going, and allows me to be part of it. But at the same time, um, I truly believe in work-life balance, right? And so, as an example, last October, I think November, we decided we're going to a 4-day work week at our office. Why? Because life's too short, and you need some balance in life. And so we're open every day, Monday through Friday, but we're staggering our shifts so everybody can still have that time with their family because it's so important. And so I have to walk that walk, and so I have to say no sometimes and take that time, and I really enjoy it. But I've always been pretty good about that. I may not be the number one producer in the company, and I'm okay with that. Um, but I'm also not pulling the average down, so that's good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
4-day work week. That's pretty awesome. Um, so I'm curious in that regard, since you have that long weekend, what do you like to do on your weekends? What are you
okay.
doing on that weekend?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say what I like to do. So,
No,
well,
that's okay.
I have to clarify that due to the recent change in the world,
Sure.
we shifted a little bit away, but we actually are staying in our office hours in here 3 hours a day in the office. And so,
Okay.
anyways, what do I like to do? I like to ride a bike. I like to mountain bike. I have a daughter that's on the mountain biking team, so I'm a parent volunteer and work with them. I've been on the board of that, and I love to get out and ride. We have a single track just 5 minutes away from our house, and it's nice. I love to be on water. I
Mhm.
love to read. I Anything my family's involved with, the activities they're involved with. I just like to be a part of that, and
Yeah.
I don't know. That's about it. I feel like sometimes it's kind of boring, but it's perfect for me.
Well, I recently saw a few posts, your family and a trip and an RV.
Yeah,
Like all of you packed in. There was even some obstacles along the way in that trip, but we were
yeah.
living through you, watching you do this. So do you RV much? Is that a thing that you enjoy too?
Yeah, great question. So a couple years ago, our family decided we were going to buy an RV, and we were going to create a Airbnb on the road, basically. So we rent it, and it's been an incredible experience. I've met some people from all over the world that have flown in and or driven in and have rented our RV. There's a couple years in there that because it was rented all the time, our family didn't get to use it a whole lot.
Yeah.
But we've gone on some amazing trips in our RV. And then we bought a second one middle of the year last year, thinking, well, we need to fit a different niche, and got a little smaller one. I've since sold it to someone that is writing a book and going to travel and see music
Oh
festivals.
wow.
But we do love to get together. We like to travel that way. We also like to fly. But it is an
Yeah.
amazing. I really think that the journey can be just as fun or rewarding or memorable as the actual destination, right? And so
Yeah.
that was our thought: is let's get families on the road, make those memories as they're rolling down the
Yeah.
road. And it's been incredible. It's
Yeah.
it's been really neat.
I went down that road because, I grew up that way. We have a few things in common. You said you have six brothers and sisters. I have seven.
Hmm.
So I'm one of eight. And when you grow up in a huge family, at least in my household, there was not a lot of extra money to go around.
Right?
It was one of those things that dad worked really hard. He came in really tired at the end of the night. Mom handled the kids and the food and the housework and all the stuff, and sometimes did additional things and for work. And so, but there was just not a lot of money. I mean, going to McDonald's was a big deal.
Right.
And but one of the things that we did was camping. And it was because it was a one price got the entire family into the campground. And
Sure.
so I had some of my most favorite memories growing up in my family doing camping. And so to see you do that, because again, we've lived in such a fast paced world that I think a lot of families, the kids are off doing their thing. Mom and dad's both working, like you said, 90 hours a week. I'm glad that
Right.
that's not you, but that is often the typical household nowadays. And so to see you live a life of, hey, I'm going to shut it off in 4 days, and we're going to take trips with our family, and we're going to spend time doing these things, is a big lesson, not only for me but for people who are watching, who are listening, and creating that life balance. Do you feel like that's a part of your success? And if so, what does success really mean to you?
Well, there's a million different definitions. I had a presentation at our local at Ridgewater College here talking about success, and I had asked for people to give me what they thought was success, and literally everybody has their own definition, which
Yep.
is okay, which is neat. Uh, I would say that for me, success is not measured by the amount that you gain, but amount that you give, and sometimes that can't even be measured. But
Yeah.
I really, I've had some success in life. I've had failures too. I've had, experiences that I've failed forward. I've learned from. I've taken my lessons and I've moved on. But I've had some success, and in business and in my personal life. But it's always because I've been surrounded by incredible people. They lift me up. I try to lift them up, and that's why I've had some level of success. I think in business is just because I've been surrounded by incredible people. So, um, I yeah, I don't have a definition for it specifically, but and everybody has their own. Some it's just, hey, I want to be happy. I think happy is a challenge to be always happy. People would look at me and say I probably never had a bad day because I generally have a smile on my face. But
Yeah.
we all have tough days. We all have days that can bring you to your knees, right? And you
Mhm.
got to get through those things and have hope. And as a leader, that's what we are, right? We're dealers of hope. And I think if there's ever been a time in the world right now, we got to do that. Give people hope.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I also want to make sure for our audience that's watching and listening, not to paint the picture that Bo is just the guy that hangs out in the RV and only works four days a week. I think if I know you, and I think I do, that those 4 days that you're working it, I mean that you are hitting it and you're hitting it on all cylinders. That's why maybe you can take. I I didn't take vacations, right?
mhm.
I was like, oh, I can't take a vacation because I can't take away from the workload. I've got this to do and that to do, and this would have to be put aside and that would, and I worked with a business coach that taught me. He said, what do you do, what do you think people do right before a vacation? Well, they work really hard and prepare and get
Yeah.
ready for the vacation. So they work a little few hours and so on. He said, what do you think people do right after the vacation? Well, they probably work and catch up and get the workload. He said, so was work really missed? I said,
No.
well, no, I guess it was just postponed, you know? And
Right.
so I think that guys like us understand work-life balance, but also knowing that when you're on, you're on. And when it's time to work, you're working.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that or no?
Completely. Activity times effectiveness equals results, right? And so you talk about that, how leading up to vacation where you just get a lot done. It's pretty impressive. But before I made the decision on the 4-day work week, and we started, first of all, everybody had the 3-day weekends, and it was incredible. I had 3-day weekends a few times in a row before some changes had to happen. And now I'm taking part of another day. But either way, um, you, when we take that time and we know when we got to be dialed in. Before I did this, I looked at studies, right? I think it was Microsoft in China and some other places that were literally moving to 4-day work weeks, but their production and performance was up 40%. Now, that seemed like a pretty good solution for me. We said we try this, and if we don't have a drop off in customer experience, customer satisfaction, and or
Yeah.
production, we're good. Everybody's just dialed in a little harder when we're in the office. And so, yeah, I don't, my mind doesn't stop, right? It doesn't shut off when
Yeah.
I'm not, and I can. I wake up in the middle of the night and I make a note and I do things. It's
Yeah.
I think how we're wired. When a
Yeah.
thought comes to you, but yeah, it's a manageable deal if you take the chance to do it and really prioritize your time.
Yeah. Time is our biggest asset. And even more so than money, because you can make more money, but you can't get more time. So who you
That's
spend it
correct.
with, where you spend it, what you spend it on is some of the most valuable things that you can do is with your time. And so I love the way that you've created that work life balance and the importance of doing so.
Yeah.
So awesome. You shared some really great tips with us, man. I mean, I have a whole page of notes over here.
Thank you, Trey.
I want to say thank you for sharing those things with us. And we've strayed a lot away from your business, but I got to tell you, you have an amazing business model. Not, I know you're in insurance all day, every day, but you have this passion around giving and helping others and showing gratitude and teaching others to do it. I mean, not all of us are great at that. I think I want to say that I'm probably pretty good at making people feel the gratitude I have for them in the moment.
Yeah.
But when I'm past the moment, and it's on to the next thing, that I myself find myself going, oh, I need a process, or I need a system like what Bo provides, and you do such an awesome job of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you, if people are interested in getting to know you better, or they want to learn more about banner seasons and how it can impact their own way of giving, how it can help them stand out in a customer service industry, and where they need to be above the pizza guy and everyone else they're competing with. Where do we find you?
Yeah, if you can go to betterappreciation.com, we'll lead you into the banner season world. And you can go on, there's a retail account. There's no subscription. You don't have to. If you're going to be a power user, you can sign up for a subscription, but it's very simple. There's a video to watch to tell you a bit more about it. There's some automation capabilities, but just go check out the site. And if you have any questions, you can reach out. You can give me a call. I've got my 320-249-1576, probably another easy way, or send me a text and we can connect about that. But I just would say that now is truly the time to lean in, right? And not retract, because it's right now we're all nervous about money. And so it'd be easy to say, let's close the books. But if that investment might go a long ways, right? I mentioned I sent some packages to some people. Sunday, there's a Facebook post saying thank you and tagging us with 80 some likes. And that's the best $9 in advertising I could have ever done, right?
Yeah.
And so lean into to your customers right now. They need it. They need it. Right now, the escalators are breaking down for people, and they need to take a few steps to complete the journey. And maybe, just maybe, a card from you or a package from you that lifts them up is going to just get them through the next day or the week. And it creates truly an emotional connection, not transactional. So it really got nothing to lose. You give it a shot, and you're not dialed into anything subscription wise. So,
and I think too, Bo, that it doesn't have to be some huge, magnificent gesture of monumental thing and cost of money. It can be something small that maybe doesn't cost a ton of money, but people will remember that you thought of them, that you took the time, that you wanted to go the extra mile, the extra effort. And I think you have some really good cost-effective things on your site. I've looked around it to be able to send out not only to one person, but if you have a lot of people to thank, that you can still do it for an affordable price.
yeah, correct. Yeah, it could be as simple as a postcard that you pay postage on. It can be a greeting card. But I've done this many times, and I've spent 50 cents on some things, and the reaction that I've gotten from people from a simple card that I took time to customize has been incredible. And I've brought grown men to tears, and I tell you what, it's rewarding. And when you create that connection. So yeah, it doesn't have to be a big ticket item to wow somebody, or to let them know that you're paying attention and you care about them. So
yeah. So if you're thinking about cutting costs and you're thinking about saving money, I just had this conversation with someone the other day. I always look at the things that I'm spending my time and my money on, and I'm looking at, when I'm evaluating, what am I going to cut? What am I not going to cut? I look at has the potential, either is making me money or potentially can make me money or collect me an audience. Those are the things that I want to keep, right? Those are the things that I want to, I want to dive deeper into my network, not retract from my network.
Right.
I might call and negotiate with the light bill and see if they'll help me, extend my light bill out. But I don't leave the way that I thank my customers, the way I stay in touch with them, or the way that I provide service to them. Those are the things that you look to level up, not to level down, because
Right.
that people will stay with you longer, for
Yeah.
sure.
Right. And you look at a couple of the top fears people have, right? We've talked about public speaking, different things like that. But another one is losing control and isolation. And look what we have right now around us.
Yeah,
People are a little like losing control. So if you can spend a little bit of money and lean into them and make so they don't feel so isolated. I think both of us, Travis, are determined to come out of this pandemic
yeah,
stronger, personally, professionally, um, physically, emotionally, and
mhm.
financially. Right? You haven't canceled the gym membership or what have you. You're still working out, right?
That's
Um,
right. Yes.
right? We're dialed in. Ideally, that's what we're going to do. There are some people that are going to not make it through this in business. You've been
Mhm.
through tough times yourself, right? You've been
Yeah.
through some challenges, and you've learned from them on what you need to do and what not. But I truly just think that if you have the ability to stay dialed into customers that you currently have and to keep them happy with you, it's going to be it's going to it's going to help your long term success, and it's going to help them if they know you're paying attention. So yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Bo, you are involved in a lot of things. I mean, you spend a lot of time in charitable organizations and
yeah,
your local chamber and other organizations within your community, but yet you drive an hour or better to come to the nearest AGC event when we're doing in-person events. I'd love to know from you why AGC? What is it that makes you get in the car and drive that both ways once a month?
I'll tell you, Travis. Even going to the first meeting on the invite was
Mhm.
I said I learned the word no. Well, I failed there, right? I
Yeah.
failed to say
Yeah.
no, and I came. I came with Glenn and loved what we saw. Uh, you were so welcoming. We love to hear the TED Talk kind of speech. We
Mhm.
love the structured networking. There was nothing comfortable about it. Um, I truly try not to miss an opportunity to meet new people. I think you can truly broaden your scope of the world when you meet people from other communities and other places. And so the opportunity to do that. But I fell in love with what I saw right away with a bunch of business professionals that all want to network. They're intentionally doing this. And so it seemed like such a natural place for me to go, even though it is a drive. And it's been a very rewarding thing. I met some great people. Uh, we had you come speak at our Leadership Institute
Yes.
here in Hutchinson, which I've been part of for that design team, and it's as a result of going to the meeting in the first place. So to be surrounded by the professionals that you have in your audience is a gift, and like I said, I try to surround myself with people that inspire me, that lift me up, and there's a whole lot of those people in that room each time, and not just the featured speaker, just
Yeah.
just the members. So
Yeah.
that's why, yeah, AGC for me, and yeah, thank you for making it possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah,
The beautiful thing right now, especially and moving forward, we're putting on our AGC weekly live broadcasts now. So even though we're maybe you might be in shelter in place, you might, no matter where you are in the country or in the world, you can now tune in and watch an AGC event live or in replay and check out those motivational speakers. So we invite you to do that and join us. Join
yeah,
us for a live broadcast. All
excellent.
right. Well, Bo, I want to say thank you again for being on the AGC Experience. You've been a fantastic guest. I've got a whole page of notes, and I can't wait to dig a little bit deeper into some of those things. So thank you. I'm going to also at this time just say thank you to our audience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. The biggest compliment you can give myself or you could give Bo, if you enjoyed this, if you pulled any nuggets away from it, I know I did. If you pull any nuggets away, is to share this broadcast, share this podcast with others, right? Send it to them in a link, tell them about it, hit the subscribe button, ask them to subscribe. Every single week, we're going to drop a new podcast in with another amazing professional that you're going to want to get to learn more about and take those nuggets away. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you.
This podcast was produced by Elation Studios. Go to www.elationstudios.co to learn more. Elation Studios. Discover your voice, clarify your vision, build your life.